Hi, I'm Matthew. I studied civil engineering at RMIT. I graduated in 2024 and I now work at Traffic Works as a junior traffic engineer. I first heard about the Future Roads competition through my professor, and I chose to enter the competition because road design, road safety are some of my biggest passions, and since civil engineering doesn't really teach too much about road design, I thought this would be a great opportunity, if not one of the only opportunities for me to learn about road design, road safety, and actually demonstrate my skills and my knowledge.
What really stood out about Matthew's application and what was different to other applications was that the treatments that he had developed aligned very closely with the four key principles of a safe system, being safe speeds, safe people, safe roads and roadsides, and safe vehicles. And being able to translate that into engineering treatments that a practitioner would be considering when developing a similar project.
I was pretty shocked when I won, but it felt really rewarding. It felt like I had some level of competence in the field and that it was being recognized.
Matthew's been with us for a couple of months now. His passion for traffic engineering, his passion for safety, his passion for safe systems has really come through into his role. It really cements his efforts during the competition. My advice to anyone who is considering a path of traffic engineering is to understand early on in the piece the key safe system principles, and that'll put you in good stead.
I'm really grateful for the opportunity to participate in the competition. I'm forever grateful for the opportunities that it presented me, and I strongly encourage anyone who has any interest in road design or road safety to participate and give it your best shot.